From the air capital of the world, TBT 2026 soars back to Wichita, where the AfterShocks have a chance to move on to the next round of this $2 million tournament with a win over New Mexico in Game 2 of a best-of-3 series. They love TBT here in Wichita, and so do we, as we welcome you courtside from Charles Koch Arena. He's Nick Baugh, and I'm Chris Vosters. They also love Marcus Keene,
yes.
The TBT MVP from last year, was at it again on Monday night.
He's a bucket getter, and he was doing that in Game 1, in particular in the second quarter, where he just went off. He had 4 threes in the second quarter. You're going to look at 3 in a row here from Mr. Keene. He's a guy that led Division I in scoring at Central Michigan, 30 points per game. He knows how to flat out fill it up, and when he is shooting it at a high clip, the AfterShocks are very difficult to beat.
He has hit 7 Elam-ending shots in his career, most in TBT history. Now we bring you the alumni bracket, where moments ago, Syracuse knocked off Seton Hall to sweep that best-of-3 series and move to the semifinal of the alumni bracket, which becomes single elimination. They will take on the Kentucky alumni team on Sunday. Wichita State could also advance to the semifinal with a win today. New Mexico is trying to extend the series to a 3rd game tomorrow. We mentioned Marcus Keene. Yes, he is not a Wichita State alumnus. However, everyone else in this lineup is. Frankamp, McDuffie, Kelly, Udeze. Shockers fans know them well on the New Mexico side. This is a blend of both New Mexico and New Mexico State alums. Jenkins, Simons, Jones, Jackson, and McCants. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Marcus Keene's got all 3 of those checked now, as we are ready to go.
Yeah, and listen, Game 1 was total domination from the AfterShocks. At one point led by 36 points towards the end of the 3rd quarter. Now, New Mexico did find a little bit of mojo down the stretch of that game. They scored 40 points in the 4th quarter in the Elam-ending period. So we'll see if you could build on that positive momentum, because there were certainly not a lot of positive things for New Mexico in Game 1.
Otherwise, it was a bit of a bloodbath. They had just 37 points combined through the first 3 quarters, as Marcus McDuffie's first shot is off the mark. Mel Jones, one of those guys who got into rhythm for the Enchantment. He swings it up to KJ Jenkins, who had a 20-plus point game on Monday as well. Here's Johnny McCants to the open man, Jamel Jones in the corner, and that skims the rim. Picked up eventually by Keene, and here come the AfterShocks.
High quality look, though. Great skip pass from McCants, and you referenced Jones getting it going. He had 19 points in the second half of Game 1.
Mo Udeze waits for the traffic to clear, but missed it off to the left, and then he's fouled underneath on the way up. So free throws coming up for Udeze.
Game 1, the AfterShocks, they own the glass, plus 14, and they own the paint, where they were plus 16. Their physicality just wore in to New Mexico as that game progressed, and certainly Udeze and McDuffie and Kelly and Santos Silva, all those guys really play with a level of physicality.
This is Morris Udeze's first TBT. Played for the Shockers from 2018 to 2022, and had 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in 19 minutes in Game 1 of this best-of-3 set. Bit of an interesting spin off the hand on the free throw there. He goes 1 for 2.
Well, he's 1 for 7 from 3 in his college career. He is not a shooter. He is a guy that is going to stay in the paint, and that's where he's going to do his damage offensively.
McCants off glass, and the Enchantment's on the board.
You'd anticipate that New Mexico is going to have just a lot better feel for how to operate offensively in this game. You could tell they were trying to searching for stuff in Game 1 and couldn't really find anything.
And related to that, a lot more feel with each other.
Yes.
This is an 8-man roster that, by and large, came together the day before the game on Monday. Frankamp off the mark, the TBT and Wichita State favorite. Jamel Jones, no one picked him up. This is the 14-footer Frankamp, the rebound, and he's fouled by McCants. We welcome in our FS1 audience who saw Boeheim's Army, the Syracuse alumni squad, knock off Hall in the Seton Hall alumni team, winning both games in a best-of-3 series. Wichita State, the AfterShocks, have a chance to do the same thing here tonight against New Mexico alumni, the Enchantment. Nick Bach, Chris Voster's great to be with you. A huge win for AfterShocks in Game 1 on Monday night. Marcus Keene off the mark, and Enchantment with a chance to build some momentum early. Vance Jackson for 3, and it's kind of quiet in here.
A little bit of a flat start, but you and I were talking about the depth that the AfterShocks have. At 59 bench points in game number 1, so I'd be surprised for Zach Bush if this group doesn't have it for another minute or two to go to the bench and do a whole line change.
Rashard Kelly in and out, and the rebound pulled in by Troy Simons. Teams are allowed to have 4 non-alumni players on their team. Vance Jackson is red hot right now, 6 quick points.
Vance Jackson, that's what he does. Stretch big, 259 career threes in his college career.
Now Udezi fell down, so the pass picked off by the Enchantment. Jamel Jones kick out with a hot hand Jackson. Here's some good ball movement for the Enchantment. Jones misses the 3.
But really, really flat start for the AfterShocks. Totally different than what game 1 looked like.
The fact that when we talked about this, the fact that there was a 2-day layoff after game 1. McDuffie off the mark. You almost think that's got to work in Enchantment's favor
No
after
doubt.
they got bludgeoned on Monday night.
Well, and the Enchantment, they needed some time to practice and develop that chemistry. And Vance Jackson, this is what he can do. He had 16 points in game 1 and was 4 of 10 from beyond the arc. But 58% of his college field goal attempts were threes. So even though he's 6'9", he wants to roam on the three-point line and knock down triples.
Marcus McDuffie Sands headband again at the free throw line. The foul was on Johnny McCants, his second, so he's most likely on his way to the bench. And nothing is going in right now for AfterShocks.
Sands only played 13 minutes in game 1. Keep in mind you get 6 fouls, but he'll go take a seat now. His first one was a silly one, grabbing Frankamp 93 feet from the hoop.
The AfterShocks 0 of 6 from the floor to start this game. And just 2 of 4 from the free throw line.
QJ Peterson guarding the basketball now. He had a nice game. 18 points off the bench. Maybe he can provide a little bit of a spark for the AfterShocks. But if you're the Enchantment, if you're New Mexico, you got to feel terrific about how you started this game.
Jenkins with a brick. And it's out of bounds and stays with New Mexico alumni.
Doesn't it already feel like, Chris, just the quality of offensive possessions is dramatically better for New Mexico, even just the first couple of minutes, than when you compare game 1?
Like a completely different team.
Yes.
Jackson with 2 threes already, guarded by Kelly. Joe Petrakis for 3. New Mexico's hitting everything.
And he can do that. So you got bigs on the floor that can stretch the defense. So you have to understand that if you're Wichita State, but good unselfish kick out from Vance Jackson.
Marcus Santos Silva with a drive. Not enough touch. McDuffie the offensive rebound. AfterShocks looking for a spark. Kelly delivers for 3.
Now the crowd is into it. Keep in mind, in TBT history, Wichita State 19-3 inside this building.
Including a TBT championship last year, winning the $1 million prize. The jackpot has gone up to $2 million this year. Jenkins misses a contested layup. Here's QJ Peterson, the first-year AfterShocks player. Does not get an assist, but he picks up a tipped rebound. Marcus Keene off the mark again from 3.
Every time Keene takes a shot, there's a hush over the crowd ready to erupt.
The TBT MVP from last year hit the championship-winning free throw. Jamel Jones off the back iron. He has not gotten his offensive game going yet tonight. nor has Keene. Drive and kick to the sharpshooter Peterson. He didn't have an open look. And a takeaway started by Jenkins. Numbers for New Mexico.
Well, needed to advance the ball, had a layup if he just looked up.
Petrakis gets another three. 4 threes for New Mexico in the first quarter.
At the hands of the bigs, too, for New Mexico. I like this lineup.
Enchantment 4 of 7 from beyond the long line. Peterson, a tough look inside. Jenkins in and out. Kelly intercepted. 2-on-1. Jenkins and Simons. Easy layup for Jenkins. And Zach Bush needs a timeout. AfterShocks head coach has seen New Mexico sprint out to a 16-5 lead over the defending TBT champions. If you're watching on FS2, come on over to FS1 after the break. We'll be waiting. Well, it's the middle of summer, but that doesn't stop Wichita State from bringing a pep band to this TBT Game 2. Trying to cheer AfterShocks on to a win in this new TBT format. We're playing in the alumni bracket, of course. 8 teams playing at school host sites, best 2 out of 3. Meanwhile, the non-alumni portion, 6 teams are currently playing at the M Resort in Las Vegas, 2 groups of 3. The championship game on August 2nd will feature the alumni bracket champion versus the non-alumni bracket champion. But look at the difference between Game 1 and Game 2. Yes, we're still in the first quarter, but it was 26-10 AfterShocks at the end of 1 on Monday. Right now it's 16-5 Enchantment.
And New Mexico only scored 22 points in the entire first half of Game 1. And so this is totally different. A little three-quarter court press. And back into this 3-2 zone that New Mexico showed a little bit of this, and it bothered Wichita in the fourth quarter in the Elam inning. You figured it'd come out at some point again.
Here's the kick out to QJ Peterson, and he does what he does best.
Here's the bench coming in and making an impact. Corey Washington was outstanding in Game 1 off the bench, 23 points, and so was QJ Peterson.
That was a game-high 23 points for Corey Washington, who's wearing number 3. Santos Silva looking for Jenkins. Jenkins with a paint touch and a lay-in. Chauncey Jenkins.
Where depth makes a difference. When your starters are flat, you can go to your bench to change the complexion of this thing.
Jalen Randall off to Vance Jackson. Rebound tip to Randall, and a foul is called. Looks like it's on Troy Simons of the Enchantment.
We'll see if New Mexico wants to stick with this 3-2 or if they're going to go back to man-to-man. I think they're matched up man-to-man. I think that's probably the right move.
Shot off the mark from James Woodard. Simons for Petrakis, who's got 2 triples already. That's wide right. Tipped out of bounds, and it's AfterShocks ball. Kenny Thomas and the Enchantment coaching staff. Kenny Thomas had a brilliant career for New Mexico, 1994 to 1998. Played 11 years in the NBA. Wow, Jenkins with a difficult reverse.
I don't think he might teach the reverse layup like that, but pretty athletic from Chauncey Jenkins.
He had just 4 points in game 1, 4 points in the first quarter tonight. Jackson stripped and a foul called on Woodard. Woodard can't believe it. Kenny Thomas has returned to the Enchantment bench to coach New Mexico alumni. He lives in Albuquerque. And even though the Enchantment was not in TBT's field last year, they are back after a year absence. Enchantment playing in their 5th TBT. They're 3-5 all time in this thing. Vance Jackson hits the free throw.
So he understands the culture of New Mexico, and then he also understands basketball at a high level. He was a terrific player, played in the NBA. So part of coaching is credibility, and he's got a ton of it.
Jackson in and out, goes 1 for 2 at the line. Peterson is a first-year player for the AfterShocks, but a TBT veteran. Had a good run with the Gutter Cats TBT program for multiple years. And he's an asset because of what he can do from deep.
There was a little confusion on what defense New Mexico was in, but it was a zone, and Peterson's a zone buster.
Loose ball, and the first quarter horn sounds, but gosh, it felt like New Mexico played a great quarter, and they only lead by 2.
And that's the beauty of the bench. 59 bench points in game 1, and the bench came in, has made a huge difference. Peterson knocking down a couple of threes in the first quarter here in Wichita.
This game is brought to you by Skechers Basketball. Comfort that performs. Well, Nick, you were doing the math after the first quarter, and it's 17-15 at the start of the second, but Wichita State went on an 11-1 run to close out the first, and this game feels like it's game on.
Absolutely, and the bench came in and provided a punch, in particular on the offensive end of the floor. QJ Peterson, 6 points, Chauncey Jenkins with 4, but after a really poor start, closed the quarter at a high level.
You saw former Shocker and current AfterShocks head coach Zach Bush on the bench. This AfterShocks program joined TBT in 2019. It was originally put together by former Shockers guard Karan Bradley. Bush has taken over the program. There's a foul inside on Corey Washington, the team's first of the quarter.
That guy right there, Zach Bush, has done a terrific job coaching this group. Former Shocker himself, so he's got relationships with everybody, which makes a difference.
And a current high school coach as well,
right.
So he brings that attitude to this.
Yes. Yeah, you watch shoot-arounds, you watch practice, there's purpose, there's a plan. There's a reason there's a 2025 TBT championship banner hanging in this arena.
Unveiled on Monday night before game 1. Woodard crosses over Petrakis, kicks out to Corey Washington for 3.
Terrific play from Woodard. Could have caught and shot it, but instead drives and sprays it.
Jalen Randall fouled on the way up.
Just a good downhill drive, recognizing Petrakis, not fleet of foot. Woodard forces the help and a great kick out to Corey Washington. And the bench, you talk about bringing in some firepower off the bench. That guy right there, he was really good in game 1.
Played for Wichita State 2 years ago and ended his college career last season at SMU. That's been one of the fun areas in which this tournament has evolved over the years. You get some extremely recent college products on the floor, including none more recent than the guy at the free throw line, Jalen Randall, who wrapped up his college eligibility just last season, 25-26 at New Mexico State.
Get those young legs. Not everybody on the floor has got the young, springy legs.
Plenty of spring in QJ Peterson's legs, but he's off the mark there. CJ Noland for Randall, kick out Jackson. That is his third 3 of the ball game.
All starts with the good hard push though from Nolan. That collapsed the defense, and Vance Jackson, 3 made threes.
Jenkins misses the layup. Troy Simons in and out. Jenkins snaps down the board.
And Simons is a shooter who can just not find it from distance. Now 0 for 11 in game 1 and game 2 now.
Good start to the quarter for New Mexico after Wichita State ended the quarter on an 11-1 run. Santos Silva guarded by Petrakis. Double team comes. Tip pass. Jenkins short.
Kind of mismatch here. If Jackson wants to take advantage, instead he takes it to the perimeter.
Simons puts it in the well. Gotta feel good to see one go in.
Absolutely.
Simons.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Talking about a guy, and Simons made 93 threes his last year of college at Kent State. He can fill it up.
So can Woodard. And another 3 for AfterShocks.
Woodard once upon a time hit 10 threes in a game at Tulsa against SMU, so he can really shoot it. He was such an important piece to the AfterShocks championship a year ago.
Both teams shooting well from deep. Both teams 5 of 10 from three-point range as Marcus Santos Silva picks up his first personal.
James Woodard, this guy had an unbelievable career. 1,881 points. 4th all-time in Tulsa basketball history. What a find for the AfterShocks. And an addition that can come in, he's athletic, he can defend, he can shoot. He's just fit in perfectly.
Jackson is living right. Another friendly touch off the rim.
He is feeling it.
It's his first 2 of the night. And a 3-point play opportunity for Corey Washington of AfterShocks.
A theme has presented itself that I'm not sure that New Mexico's got anybody that can contain Washington off the bounce. Certainly Petrakis is not a good matchup, and great recognition and attack from Corey Washington.
A foul on Petrakis. And that was the question that we had about this AfterShocks roster in 2026. How would they compensate for the loss of guard Nike Sabande, who was the wingman for Marcus Keene on that 2025 run? Corey Washington has really stepped into that void early in TBT.
No doubt about it. I thought Sabande was the best player last tournament. When you take the totality of the tournament, he was the best player on the AfterShocks roster. Now Keene, with the heroics late in the tournament, ultimately was awarded MVP, but it's a big loss. And so far, Washington filling that void.
Johnny McCants back onto the floor with 2 fouls, and that's what McCants does very well, forcing the turnover, and it's Enchantment ball.
So now the coverage changes a little bit. Vance Jackson, so you went big here. You got Petrakis, Vance Jackson, and Johnny McCants on the floor all at the same time.
Turnover, AfterShocks with the steal. Chauncey Jenkins, oh boy. That would have raised the roof on this place. Good defense by Petrakis.
Bang.
And Vance Jackson has a chance at a 4-point play.
Vance Jackson has come to play. I mean, you got to recognize this guy is hot. At any moment right now, if he gets any sliver of daylight, he's rising and firing. There's a reluctant high five from a Shocker fan, I think, but
he's still talking. That free throw looked long, so Jackson does not complete the 4-point play. Corey Washington sits for AfterShocks. He just picked up his 3rd foul. AfterShocks will need someone to carry the load here offensively. It could be Marcus Keene. Not that time. Jackson down on the other side of the floor. Jamel Jones still scoreless. That continues.
Keene and Frankamp are going to have knocked down some shots here.
Santos Silva in the post, had the mismatch. Kelly open for 3, barely grazes the iron.
That was one Frankamp could have let fly.
Enchantment takes a timeout here. Vance Jackson a little shaken up on the play. He goes to the bench for New Mexico and will return in a moment. New Mexico trying to even this best of 3 at a game apiece. AfterShocks and Enchantment fans, show your TBT pride with official AfterShocks and Enchantment merchandise. Shop now at thetournament.com and represent your team all tournament long. Good to see some fans from both sides here. New Mexico and Wichita State, of course. New Mexico and Wichita State, as college basketball rivals, have only played 5 times ever, and not since 2006.
Right now, Vance Jackson on the bench. He has been on fire. 17 points. He's only missed 1 shot, but he's getting a breather now.
Jamel Jones. They're going to count that bucket. Someone popped it out of there for AfterShocks, so you can count the bucket. And they charge a foul to Morris Udezi.
Shoving Johnny McCants on the rebound.
So that puts New Mexico into the bonus, and McCants will get 2 free throws. Wow, that's a bad sequence for AfterShocks. Vance Jackson on the bench with 17 points, a little shaken up going into the last media timeout, as McCants goes 1 for 2 at the foul line.
Vance Jackson's 4 of 4 from 3. He has not missed. So the second he feels good enough to get back in, he needs to get back in there.
Jackson is playing in his 3rd TBT, had 18 points against Forever Cougs in an earlier TBT game. He's 1 away from his TBT career high. 5 to shoot for Keene. Shot was blocked by Simons. Here comes the Enchantment.
Really good closeout on Keene. He looked like he was going to have a wide open 3.
McCants misses the 3. Udezi. Woodard for 3. Good.
What a good play from Udezi. So many players think when they get it that close to the basket, they gotta get one up off the glass, but a nice kick out and Woodard drills it.
Jenkins close, but no cigar. Frankamp blocked by Simons. Frankamp's first shot attempt of the game.
It's 2 blocked 3s at the hands of Simons.
Making an impact on the defensive end. And so does Kelly, who intercepts that pass intended for Simons. Woodard just canned a 3. That one short. Jamel Jones, middle of the floor. Keene tries to sell the charge, and he does. Offensive foul on Jamel Jones.
Just such good defensive anticipation from Marcus Keene. Could feel when Jones stopped and changed directions, he was going to go that way and beat him to the spot. Just a smart, crafty move by Marcus Keene. When you're undersized, you're not going to win jumping contests or contest shots. That's how you got to defend people when they get in the paint.
Frankamp for 3. Yes!
Crowd favorite, Wichita native, Connor Frankamp.
Zach Bush urging the crowd on. 1-point game late 2nd quarter. Jackson puts it on the deck. And it's AfterShocks ball.
Who's surprised that McDuffie and Rashard Kelly got a floor burn? I'm certainly not. But what a kick out. And Frankamp, who Zach Bush said Frankamp's the best he's looked in 3 years in terms of just his health. And we talked about it, Chris. There's a different volt of electricity that shoots through this crowd when Frankamp makes a shot. So whatever Zach Bush has in the playbook for a 3 for Frankamp, might be a decent time to dial it up.
He's feeling it. Udeze all alone underneath, but the pass from Keene was high.
He's going to have a dunk.
Jones. Petrakis for three. Rick. Chance to take the lead for Wichita State. Keene turns it over again. They call a jump ball with the possession arrow pointing to the Enchantment.
Yeah, Jamel Jones traveled. You can't roll on the floor with the basketball. Very fortunate.
Sure, he thought he was fouled.
It's good activity. Keene just is not in a good flow. He was in a great flow in game one. Been a little sloppy with the ball. Have the AfterShocks been at times. 6 turnovers.
Troy Simons with a sideline inbounds.
So Rashard Kelly's draped on Vance Jackson, but Kelly has to understand you cannot step off the hottest guy in the gym, Vance Jackson.
Jones working on McDuffie. Step back, James Harden style, and it rattles in.
That is a tough shot from Jamel Jones.
And the answer for AfterShocks. Marcus Keene gets it going, and we'll see if that spurts a run for Keene. A foul here called. Rashard Kelly picks up his first.
Silly foul. That's off of a made layup. Credit New Mexico for just getting that ball out of the net and getting it inbounded quickly and rolling, but Kelly just hammered Simons.
Enchantment's been a little shaky at the free throw line. They're now just 5 of 10.
Well, I'd say so far, the 2 days in between games really has helped New Mexico finding some rhythm and chemistry. And I think the way they got blasted in game one, but they closed the game with a few positive notes, and it's carried into game two. Wichita State led wire to wire in game one. They have not led here tonight.
Signature moment in this tournament for the Enchantment was knocking off Air Raiders in 2023, a Texas Tech alumni team that hosted a regional in Lubbock that year. Enchantment essentially went on the road and knocked them off in the second round. McDuffie for Udeze. Great pass, but Jackson commits the foul. And Udeze has free throws coming up.
Really good hands from Udeze there. Not necessarily the easiest catch in the world. Snatches it and right up, and now getting to the free throw line. It's a good foul, though. You don't want to come with a weak foul there and get a potential and one.
Udeze just 1 for 3 at the free throw line now.
Well, with 8 seconds left, you got to be hyper aware of Vance Jackson and any sort of pick and pop or a little flip back a la Chris Jenkins at the end of the 2016 national championship game for Villanova. Jackson taking it in right now.
8 seconds. Jamel Jones straddling half court. Simons with 2. Simons loses it, gets it off, and no bucket. The basket does not count. Stephen Maxwell with the call. They will review this.
Boy, this is really, really close.
still got it, Nick.
I think he's still in his hands when that's the right call. Credit the officials. We're all over that. Looks like it's in his fingertips. Zeros on the clock. That red lit up.
Quick review. But a halftime lead for the Enchantment.
Really good half from New Mexico. Set the tone from the jump. Led wire to wire here in the first half. And we got a good one brewing.
New Mexico trying to send this series the distance. They lead by 1 after a blowout loss in game 1. Wichita State looked a little sleepy at times in that first half, and yet New Mexico leads by just 1 point. Let's take a look at some news and notes from across the TBT alumni bracket landscape. It's a great field, Nick.
Yes.
Kansas State going to that game 3. That's going to be a doozy.
It's going to be fantastic tomorrow night in Manhattan. Frank Mason, Mario Chalmers against Michael Beasley and Xavier Sneed to advance. How about a second-round matchup between Syracuse and Kentucky in Lexington? That is going to be outstanding. That game's going to be on Sunday as Boeheim's Army took care of Seton Hall. La Familia took care of Louisville in a Game 3 a tight one, but get your popcorn ready for that one.
I certainly will. College alumni teams have long been a part of TBT. In fact, the first TBT was won by a Notre Dame alumni team. Great to see this tweak here in 2026 with the alumni bracket, a portion of the program. Got a good alumni matchup on our hands tonight. Wichita State and New Mexico. New Mexico trying to pull off an upset. We got a game on our hands at halftime from inside Charles Koch Arena. New Mexico leads Wichita State 34-33. We take a look at the first half stats, and on the New Mexico side, again, they lost 98-77 on Monday night. Their shooting numbers through one half are basically the same as they were on Monday, so you got to think it's Wichita State that's really taken a step back.
Yeah, Wichita State certainly struggled in that first half, but really for New Mexico, the story of the game was Vance Jackson. He's been the lone guy that's made shots. He's 5 of 6 from the floor. The rest of the team for New Mexico is 6 of 21. So all of the offense has been Vance Jackson, in particular from beyond the arc. But certainly the bench loomed large for the Shockers, as it usually does. Did a terrific job, 22 bench points in that first half. We got ourselves an interesting ball game brewing here.
Jackson had 16 points on Monday, but it was understated because of the blowout loss. There's the TBT 2025 championship banner at Wichita State, trying to add another one this year. Courtside seats from inside Koch Arena. I don't know who they're rooting for. I mean, we've got Lakers, Sixers, and the Cleveland Guardians. So meet me in the middle, I guess.
All the bases right there.
Maybe they're rooting for Vance Jackson. The Enchantment star has 17 first-half points after 16 points in round one. He's gotten it going offensively for the Enchantment. They lead by 1. And Troy Simons could not quite come up with the steal. It stays with AfterShocks.
Great play from Simons. And he has not shot the ball well, but he's got a couple of blocks there. He almost gets a pick-6 steal. He's not letting the fact that he's not shot the ball well impact his effort. But Keene really struggled in that first half. 1 for 5 from the floor. He's got to put his fingerprints on this game from a shot-making perspective.
Hit his one shot late in the half. 8 to shoot. McDuffie drives and dunks.
McDuffie's been quiet as well. Maybe that'll get him rolling.
His first field goal of the game and Wichita State's first lead since it was 1-0. Jackson for three. In and out.
Boy, that thing was all but in.
McDuffie, nifty catch for Gumby, the nickname he earned here at Wichita State. And Rashard Kelly, bucket and a foul.
The old Wichita State veterans, Marcus McDuffie and Rashard Kelly. How many times have we seen these two guys put a little surge together? McDuffie with the dunk, Rashard Kelly, nice flash to the high post. Chance for a three-point play. Nice start for two Shocker legends.
So Kelly up to 6 points. And a little backcourt pressure. Enchantment looking for its first point since halftime. Almost a carry.
Yeah.
Simon strong.
That's all. Keene's ball pressure blew everything up there. That was nice.
Keene slithers into the lane. Pass behind Frankamp, and it's a run out for Troy Simons. Kelly lets him go.
Boy, unfortunate. Frankamp, if him and Keene are on the same page, Frankamp's going to line up a three. Instead, it's a run out for Simons.
Kelly turns it over. McCants keeps it in bounds. Jones misses the reverse, and he had Vance Jackson wide open underneath.
And look at this.
Keene stops and pops and hits.
What a swing.
Wow.
You have basically a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-0 almost. You don't get anything out of it, and Keene gets a jumper on the other end.
Jackson all alone. That was a mistake. Foul here somewhere.
Here's the blown opportunity. Good effort from Kelly just to contest, and then it ends in a Keene jumper on the other end of the floor. But right now, the AfterShocks have to understand the only guy that's making shots is Vance Jackson. So any normal help responsibilities have to get thrown out the window with this guy right now. He is feeling it. You got to close the airspace. You got to get a hand up. He is on fire right now.
So the bucket counted for Jackson, and then Mo Udeze picked up a foul. That's why it's Enchantment ball again. Jenkins is 1 for 7 from the floor. Here's Frankamp with it. Slips the pass to Udeze. He lost it on the way up. And it's Enchantment ball.
I think that's one of those plays where Frankamp needed to flip that up to the rim rather than drop it down low. That's what Udeze does best, is catch it. Watch, this one's probably got to get thrown up to the rim instead of down at Udeze's knees.
Frankamp, a tremendous passer.
Yes.
Maybe to his own detriment there. And Marcus Santos Silva.
Did you see me bracing myself?
So was I. Couldn't quite pry it away from Petrakis, and now a foul called on Petrakis.
Good effort from Santos Silva. Way bigger in person than you think he is, too. I mean, he is a large dude. Was an excellent portal pickup a year ago in terms of a non-alum. And his post defense a year ago against NC State's DJ Burns and Houston's Jawan Roberts was really impressive.
Frankamp open for three. He buries it.
Great play from Rashard Kelly. Landing on 2 feet, surveying the situation, and the Wheat Mamba drills it.
Founding member of this Wichita State alumni team in TBT. And it's back to the Enchantment.
Watch the weak side action. There's a cut from McDuffie that drew in Jamel Jones, and Frankamp makes him pay.
Simons into the corner for Jamel Jones. Boom.
Jones has got to get it rolling, scoring the ball to help out Vance Jackson.
Kelly with the catch. Santos Silva for McDuffie.
I think that's an area that is really impressive with Santos Silva, his passing out of the post, but that's a great basket cut from Rashard Kelly.
Petrakis underneath. Blocked. Santos Silva.
Team likes to hunt in these spots.
McDuffie hunts that three. Strong. Jones behind the back. Into the corner for Jackson.
Great job by McDuffie, recognizing Jackson's feeling it, runs him off the three-point line. Smart.
20 points for Vance Jackson. Jenkins is a natural shooter.
No doubt about it. 193 made threes in his career. He made 85 as a senior. That looked pure, didn't it?
Played for Rick Pitino's first two New Mexico teams. Marcus Keene off the heel. I'm sorry, Richard Pitino is what I meant to say. Petrakis with the dunk.
A great push from Jenkins again.
Bullet pass, and neither Keene nor McDuffie were ready to handle it. Well, after a surge for Wichita State to start the third quarter, New Mexico has bounced right back, and they lead by 2 midway through the third quarter in game 2 of this best-of-3 series with the AfterShocks up 1-0. Saturday night is baseball night on Fox. And this week, the game's biggest superstars take center stage as the Dodgers battle Juan Soto and the Mets. Some will see Mariners Rangers Saturday at 7 Eastern, only on Fox. Back to the hardwood and the Enchantment. They're just not going anywhere tonight.
Yeah, and it really felt like to start this second quarter, a little surge from the AfterShocks, but a nice response from New Mexico. With that Elam ending, you got to just hang around. That's exactly what New Mexico's doing, right? That and some.
Here's Jackson with a 20-point night, a game high. Jenkins, he has in the gym range.
What a set play. Jenkins acted like he was going to set a back screen and just slipped out of it into a handoff at the top of the key. That's really good X's and O's from Kenny Thomas and that staff.
2 threes, both in the second half for KJ Jenkins. QJ Peterson finds some room. Jones the rebound.
I thought QJ Peterson could have flipped that one back to Corey Washington, but you got your bench guys on the floor for the AfterShocks who have been really, really good. Woodard and Washington and Jenkins and Peterson and Santos Silva.
Washington had 6 points in the second quarter for AfterShocks as Jones hits in the lane, but also had 3 fouls,
yes,
and it stunted his momentum.
No doubt. He's got to find a way to get back into a flow quickly. It can be hard when you get into foul trouble.
Lead back to 7 for the Enchantment. Peterson gives it right away to Jenkins. All the way over to Simons. He launches a 3. It's a break for AfterShocks.
Great pass.
Here's Chauncey Jenkins for Washington. Santos Silva comes up with the rebound and draws the foul.
They talk about an out of your area, just grown man rebound from Santos Silva.
Had no business getting the rebound.
And just flat out took it from Jamel Jones.
And Jones gets whistled for his 3rd foul. As Nick mentioned, you get 6, so Jones stays in the game. Woodard, in and out. Jones on Jenkins, and a foul is called. Foul on the floor.
Jamel Jones now has done a good job using that big body. That's what he is as a guard. He can play booty ball. He can get his back to the basket and draw a foul. And slowly but surely, KJ Jenkins and Simons and Jamel Jones are starting to get into a flow to help out Vance Jackson, who's getting a breather right now on the bench. He was all of the offense in the first half for New Mexico.
Under 2 minutes to go in a fast-moving 3rd quarter. Randall intercepted by Santos Silva. He gives it right back to Jones. Nolan for 3. Rattles it in.
What a swing there. Just like that, New Mexico up 10.
Peterson, too high. Santos Silva saves it, but to the wrong colored jersey, and that's a foul on Corey Washington. He picks up his 4th.
Santos Silva gets the steal. Looked like there was going to be a run out, errant pass, and it ends in a C.J. Nolan triple. Potential 5-point swing there. Nolan was a big part of New Mexico's Mountain West regular season and tournament championship teams a couple of years ago.
And he lost the handle, and AfterShocks fans thought there was maybe a carry there, but he picks up the foul instead. It's on QJ Peterson. That's his 1st, the team's 4th.
A couple of times, New Mexico guards have looked like they've kind of lost the ball as they've been dribbling. Fortunate there. You can tell the AfterShocks have put together a couple of spurts, but they haven't been able to sustain anything for an extended period of time. Total role reversal from game 1. Keep in mind, at one point, the AfterShocks led by 36 in game 1.
And another takeaway. Jalen Randall. Rebound to Jenkins of AfterShocks. Enchantment has matched its largest lead of the night. Woodard gets it back down to 10 for AfterShocks. McCants is in trouble.
Drake has got a mismatch if he wants to explore it. Santos Silva kind of roaming.
5 to shoot. Petrakis with 2. He has no idea. Gets the shot off. It falls off right into the lap of Rashard Kelly. 6 seconds to go in the quarter. 3 for Peterson. Nice inside. And with enough, English puts it home and one.
Well, if Wichita State comes back to win this game, the end of this quarter is going to loom large. You get the layup from Woodard, you get the stop, and now potential three-point play right at the gun here from QJ Peterson.
Petrakis the foul, his 3rd. And we go to the 4th quarter. Enchantment adds to its lead in the 3rd quarter, but Wichita State brings it to 7 as we go to the 4th. A back and forth tussle here. It's win and move on for AfterShocks. Win or go home for New Mexico. What we're seeing play out before our eyes tonight is why the best of 3 change to the TBT format is so intriguing, because anybody can have a bad game, and that's what happened to New Mexico on Monday night. But they have another chance in a best of 3, and they have completely reversed their fortunes as we enter the 4th quarter.
Anybody that watched game 1, I don't think gave New Mexico much of a chance at all in game 2. And look at what things are looking like now. Up 7 heading in to the fourth quarter with that Elam ending looming. Again, first dead ball, under 4 minutes, clock turns off, 8 points added to the team's leading score. That becomes the target score. Something tells me we better buckle up here, Chris. This is going to get intense.
Things have a tendency to go haywire in the Elam ending. This play has gone haywire. Peterson, he puts it in again. And got the and one bucket as well. Okay, it didn't, based on his reaction, it didn't look like it, but that's exactly how the third quarter ended, with a Peterson and one.
Were they called on the floor? Would they?
They called it on the floor. Okay.
Oh. Well, it was a wrestling match for most of that possession. The interesting thing, you and I were talking, who does Zach Bush close the game with right now?
Peterson put back in by Santos Silva.
This group, I think these guys have played the best tonight on the floor for the AfterShocks. Okay. This 5. But that means the 2025 TBT MVP Marcus Keene is sitting on the bench.
Santos Silva, Kelly, Jenkins, Peterson, Woodard. Nolan misses the 3. Another rebound for Santos Silva. He had 10 in game 1. Kelly dunks it home.
Great cut from Rashard Kelly. Hey, that is big time off the ball.
Petrakis. In and out, offensive rebound, Jackson. He gets hacked and is going to the line, assuming he can pick himself up off the mat.
That classifies as a hard foul there.
Yes.
Look, Rashard Kelly and Vance Jackson are in a wrestling match. Jackson wins it. So Jackson was on fire in the first half, 17 points. Only 3 points in that quarter, but his running mates, some of the guards, stepped up. But he's going to have to score the ball in this fourth quarter for New Mexico.
He was just 3 for 6 at the line.
Maybe he needs to step back and shoot a 3.
Yeah,
That's
like, I mean, his percentage is higher.
That's right.
He's got
I'll let you go
5
tell
threes.
him that.
Yeah, no thanks. Splits the pair. Peterson showing as he nearly turns it over. Nolan keeps it in play. Jenkins the layup. What a play by C.J. Nolan.
I mean, that is unbelievable from C.J. Nolan. The deflection and the save. It's a winning play there.
A guy with NCAA tournament experience 2 years ago for the Lobos. And Jamel Jones with the steal. Almost got hung on the rim, but the bucket counts.
Every time tonight, New Mexico's needed to answer a little run from Wichita State. They have.
Santos Silva, kick out. Woodard has his pocket picked. It's Nolan again. 3 straight steal and scores for the Enchantment. And a timeout. AfterShocks.
Well, this sequence could be the one that propels a Game 3 unfolding. Nolan with the play of the game there. The deflection and the save. Jamel Jones, those long arms in the passing lane. 3 straight live ball, run out turnovers. This is amazing hands off the closeout from C.J. Nolan. It looked like the AfterShocks were going to get a ball reversal 3 or a layup as that defense was scrambling. But the defense and activity looming large in crunch time for New Mexico.
14 steals for New Mexico, 3 in a row. And C.J. Nolan he was scoreless in the first half. He's got 7 points for the game and 2 steals. Look at the points off turnovers for New Mexico as they have built the lead back to 10.
Some subs now. Marcus Keene back in and Connor Frankamp back in.
3 minutes to go to the Elam ending. It is a 4th straight turnover. Jackson almost had the offensive rebound.
You got a 3-on-1 and you settle for a 3.
Santos Silva, oh my gosh, it was almost a 5th straight turnover. Chauncey Jenkins followed a couple of screens.
Yeah, Santos Silva just sealed off any help. So Jenkins could go lay it in.
It stops the bleeding for AfterShocks. Jackson draws the foul. It's on.
Wow, this is tough. Here's the thing, Chris. When you leave your feet, you leave it up to chance. But Vance Jackson didn't totally sell it there. Minimal contact. Sometimes you see those get let go, but bottom line, when you bite on a shot fake, you're at the mercy of the official.
Foul on Richard Kelly, his second, the team's second. This is Vance Jackson's 5th trip to the line tonight. He has not hit 2 straight free throws in a single trip. Made the first. And the second.
Well, just a couple of minutes ago, it felt like all momentum was on Wichita State's side.
Santos Silva, and 1.
Chauncey Jenkins' athleticism is paid off, being able to get downhill. That's a nice dish off to a big dude in Marco Santos Silva. Again, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played with that Elam ending in just a few minutes.
Santos Silva cannot complete the 3-point play. Jamel Jones was whistled for the foul, his 4th. Now, if you're Enchantment here, don't you want to slow things down? We're 2 minutes to the Elam ending. I would think you'd want to cut possessions. They did not do that. Jenkins is fouled by Johnny McCants, and he goes crashing into the stanchion of the rim and the basket.
Just pretty good effort all around. Great run out from Jenkins, but Johnny McCants, who's all effort all the time. It's every basket matters here, and McCants, good hustle, make Jenkins earn it.
Jenkins has 6 points after 4 in game 1. He was just 1 for 7 on Monday. Much more efficient tonight. Weekdays on FS1, Sharp Minds, talking everything that matters. Wake Up Barstool, The Herd, and First Things First. It's sports talk that never lets up. Weekdays on FS1. No brainer. 2 big free throws for Chauncey Jenkins. See if AfterShocks can force a turnover. Again, wouldn't you want to take the shot clock way down?
You probably want to shrink the amount of possessions that can unfold here before the Elam ending.
Maybe with a 6-point lead, it doesn't matter as much. Jenkins strong, McCants, and he's fouled. No, it's a foul on the Enchantment. Okay, correction. It is on Richard Kelly.
McCants, just effort and energy. Oh, that one looks like anybody's rebound.
3rd personal on Kelly. Jenkins the cut to the basket. He's not open. Jenkins. Strong.
Man, that's a great look.
Fran Camp, reverse.
If you're New Mexico, that can't happen. You have to get sorted out. No one talks, no one gets matched up, and Fran Camp gets an easy one.
Jamel Jones too deep. Less than a minute to go to the Elam ending, and the lead down to 4. Jenkins. Jenkins the rebound. No relation. Jackson. And a foul is called.
Down on Marcus Keene, it looks like. As a dangerous situation, Vance Jackson dribbling and a lot of traffic. Ooh, man, that's another one. I'm not sure. There's a lot of contact there. Can't run it down to that 4-minute mark and have to get a shot here if you're the Enchantment. Off-target passer. That's a 3 for Vance Jackson.
Double team kick out. Petrakis fade away. Keene the rebound. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Keene almost lost it.
Happened a lot tonight. Keene has 4 turnovers.
Into the corner. Out of bounds. It stays with AfterShocks. And we are going to the Elam ending. First stoppage under 4 minutes, but
yeah,
there's
looks
going
like
to be a
Mexico's
challenge.
Challenging the out of bounds call.
But wouldn't this prompt the Elam ending anyway, so I'm not sure why you would even bother. I guess you want to start with the ball in the Elam ending. So.
Sure. Either way, the Elam ending's on deck. It's just a matter of who has the ball first.
Correct. Okay, so the target score is set. Enchantment the leading team with 66. 66 plus 8 is 74.
Taking a great look from Woodard here. Not sure, did Nolan touch it right at the end? Kelly and him are wrestling for it. Again, the important thing is the call on the floor was Wichita State basketball. Kelly's hand comes in and jars it free. But right at the end, does Nolan touch it one more time? Really close. Not sure there's going to be enough there to overturn it.
I just don't see how there can be.
My guess is this thing stands and there's just not enough.
I mean, if you want to, you know, the ball goes out in the same direction as Rashard Kelly's hand motion. So, but there still has to be inconclusive video evidence. You got to think if Nolan touches it last, it's not going to go out in that direction. But there has to be indisputable video evidence. John Hendricks, Stephen Maxwell, Iffy Seals are officials. It's going to be AfterShocks ball when we come back to start the Elam ending. New Mexico loses its challenge, and we play to 74 when we return. Bush looking on from the AfterShocks bench as we get ready to start the Elam ending. His AfterShocks team trails 66-62, but it is anyone's game. First to 74 wins. The target score is part of the Elam ending. AfterShocks does get it in. And after that failed challenge by the Enchantment, AfterShocks starts with the ball. Santos Silva and one.
You talk about an in-traffic catch from Marcus Santos Silva. Actually signed a contract with the Cleveland Browns as an undrafted tight end. Looking like a tight end in the red zone, snatching that one in the paint. And a chance for a three-point play. What a catch from Marcus Santos Silva.
And he hits the free throw. That explains why he was wearing a Cleveland Brown shirt.
That's right. Listen to this crowd.
One-point game, first to 74 wins. Wow. Oh, Vance Jackson, they haven't had an answer for him tonight.
They have not, and a silly mental mistake. You cannot leave Vance Jackson, his fifth made three of the game, and he tells this Shocker crowd to sit down.
Kelly, Santos Silva back out to Kelly. Jenkins the rebound.
So right back to that high pick and pop with Vance Jackson. You got to get on the same page here.
New Mexico needs 5 to win and force it game 3 tomorrow night. Jenkins pure.
Just a smart play from Jenkins, getting a switch and attacking it.
Camp to the rack and one.
The old veteran still got some juice in the tank. Connor Camp, known as a three-point shooter, but punches the gas and gets all the way to the basket for a big potential three-point play. And they got a sub on at the scores table for the shooter. Chauncey Jenkins will check in for Camp. And obviously New Mexico 3 points away. So right now, if you're Wichita State, you're thinking about switching screens and pressing onto that three-point line.
Camp playing in his 25th career TBT game.
But this is where we saw this last night between Kansas and Kansas State. If you're New Mexico right now, this doesn't have to be a three.
Especially not
with Wichita not in one shot away. You can go get a two, but if you're Wichita State, you got to press out to that three-point line.
Jackson for the win. It's good. Vance Jackson puts the Enchantment on his back and stuns Wichita State.
Wow. Vance Jackson, 25 points.
7 threes.
And smart X's and O's as well. A double high ball screen, just a little tardy as James Woodard, and that's all it takes for the hottest guy in Wichita tonight to send this series to a game 3.
One of the biggest TBT shockers we've seen, and it comes on the home court of the Shockers. Just the 4th time in 23 games that AfterShocks has lost a TBT game on their home court. We're going to break. We'll be back to wrap this one up when we return. We've got Vance Jackson of the Enchantment standing by when we come back. Stick around. towel?
Yeah. Okay. Did you hear that, Chris?
No.
He came off a flight and landed an hour for game one.
Oh, the last game. Okay, gotcha.
Seven.
New Mexico Alumni has forced a winner-take-all Game 3 in round 1 of TBT against Wichita State, anchored by a 27-point performance from Vance Jackson, who joins Nick Baugh and me at the broadcast table. Vance, thanks for stopping by. Heck of a win. What are your initial reactions to your performance and the team's win tonight?
First, I just want to thank God just for this opportunity, me playing. Just this journey that I've been on, I've been working, you know. A lot of people that know me know I be in that lab, so the fact that I just came out and helped us have another day is just exciting. I feel good, and this ain't nothing, though. This is just a stepping stone in the right direction.
What were the last 2 days like? Because game one was Monday. You get 2 days to kind of regroup. It seems like you guys certainly were able to tighten some things up. Helps when you get hot and knock down some shots. But what were the last 2 days like?
We was just trying to get team bonding going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all knew. We playing with different generations of players from New Mexico. So, you know, this team, they've been playing together for a very long time. So, you know, we just try to get as much as we can in them 2 days, watch film. I mean, we all talking to each other. And we had some good practices. We was really competing and translate.
I think it's important to note, you were telling us you were on a flight, landed an hour before game one. Certainly that's going to be challenging to go out there and play at optimal performance. Certainly you look well rested tonight. Did you feel way better tonight than you did game one?
Overly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt real good. I had just got my legs up under me. I haven't been like playing like back to back like that in a long time. So for me to just come back, I had to regroup, shake that L off, and we're gonna bounce back.
You were also telling us about some of the adversity that you dealt with in your career from a health perspective. You broke your spine a couple of years ago. How are you feeling physically, and what has that rehab journey been like?
Yeah, I'm still just trying to just take care of my body and just keep it going. It's a blessing that it wasn't too extreme, but you know, I love basketball. I like working. This is my life, so I'm just trying to just keep it going.
Vance, what did you think outside of you knocking down, what was it, 7 threes? Your group, you guys had 15 steals. There was a big surge. C.J. Nolan made a couple of big plays defensively. What did you feel like ultimately was the difference in this one? Because Wichita State made some runs back at you guys, always had an answer, though.
Yeah, we just had to stay poised. You know, they're a good team. We know they're going to go on runs. It's just how we responded. And last game, I ain't like that. You know, we got popped. And, you know, I'm a winner. You know what I'm saying? So we had to just shake that off. Like I said, we all locked in. You know, this for $2 million. I'm trying to win that. So we all trying to win that. You know, I'm hungry. I feel like nobody hungry like me, especially on the opposite team. So,
you know, these TBT tournaments are interesting and challenging for you as players because, as you said, sometimes you're getting into town the day of the game and you have to make it work with a group of guys. With this group, you know, you have the connection to the state of New Mexico. The majority of this team either played for New Mexico or New Mexico State. What does it mean to represent the land of enchantment?
Yeah, once a Lobo, always a Lobo. You know what I'm saying? Lobo Nation always show love. You know, I got my degree from there, so, you know, it's always love. And they always show support to this day. We've had a couple Lobo fans in here, so just trying to just give them a W.
So you, G League, Celtics, Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, the way they do overtime, they do the Elam ending. So there's some comfort there. At least you've been in it. You guys look comfortable. You have the big winner tonight. What are your thoughts on the Elam ending as a hooper?
Man, I'm just happy I'm able to send them to the crib and we got another day.
Yep.
You know, now I feel comfortable. This is my 3rd year in the TBT. So, you know, I feel like a vet, you know, letting the new guys know. And really, we just come out here, compete, and just play hard.
Last thing for you, Vance. So tomorrow, right back to it, winner take all game 3. When you play a back-to-back, what's your process like for recovery?
Go to bed, drink some water, and get some food.
There you go.
Get up off my legs. I got one of the greatest trainers on the Lobo staff. They finna get us right, and we're gonna bounce back tomorrow like we lost the first game. So we got a chip on our shoulder, and we just ready to move on.
Well, we're thrilled that there's a game 3. You guys shocked TBT tonight.
No, I told everybody on my team we finna shock the world, and everybody on Friday gonna tune in, and we're gonna do the same thing.
You absolutely did, and we could show you the game-winning shot if you want to look back while we go to break.
You need to see that.
Vance Jackson joining us, who had the Elam-ending three-pointer to cap a 27-point night and send the Enchantment to game 3 against AfterShocks. Enchantment's Vance Jackson just delivered one of the all-time great TBT performances, 27 points in the Elam ending shot as New Mexico stuns Wichita State 74-68. Now, we temper that a little bit because it's not single elimination.
Correct.
There's still a game tomorrow to determine who wins this series and moves on to the next round. But thinking about the outcome tonight, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect Kansas to come back last night on Kansas State. There have been some unexpected results recently here in TBT.
And that's the thing about basketball is for one game, anything can happen. And the beauty of a series is the swings that you can get. I'm not sure many people gave KU much of a chance after what the first game looked like at the hands of K-State. And certainly in game one between Wichita State and New Mexico, I'm not sure anybody thought New Mexico was going to be able to rebound and win this game, too. Keep in mind, at the end of the third quarter of game one, Wichita State led by 36 points. It was total domination, but it was a complete flip. You and I were saying, I think the 2 days off in between game one and game two was enormous for New Mexico to get a plan together, get acclimated with each other, and they looked like a completely different team tonight. And Vance Jackson led the charge. And he was the guy that got the party started in the first half from beyond the arc. And the activity defensively, 15 steals for New Mexico and a couple of big ones down the stretch that were some live ball pick six turnovers created at the hands of the guards for New Mexico. But just an unbelievable response from the Enchantment.
One of the greatest we've ever seen in TBT for sure. As we take a look at the final stats, look, Wichita State, of course, their numbers pale in comparison to their game one performance, but New Mexico went out and took this game. Take nothing away from them, and they came up with some huge stops on the defensive end.
Yeah, there was a stretch late in the middle of the fourth quarter probably where there was 3 straight steals from New Mexico that led to layups that I thought ultimately, if you're looking at a minute or a minute and a half that swung the game, it was that one. But listen, this is a place where heading into tonight, Wichita State in the TBT was 19-3 all time in this building. You're not just dealing with a good Shocker team, you're dealing with the crowd. And when that's the case, you got to be able to weather a storm and always have a counterpunch because you know that Wichita State's going to go on a run at some point. And I thought that was what was really impressive is New Mexico, each and every time the Shockers felt like, okay, here you go, they're going to go on a run and run away with this thing, they were able to stop the bleeding and then extend the lead back up. And so Vance Jackson was good in knocking down shots, but I thought it was a total team effort in that second half. And then really good execution in the Elam ending in terms of running sets to get good, clean looks.
We thought we might have a bracket update after our game. It will have to wait until tomorrow. Winner take all for both Wichita State, New Mexico, and Kansas State. Kentucky and Syracuse have already moved into the semifinal of the alumni bracket by sweeping, I should say Syracuse swept its series over Seton Hall. Kentucky 1-3 against Louisville. It's single elimination starting in the semifinal, but 3 of these 4 alumni series now have gone the distance.
Which is exactly, I think, what you have in mind when there's a best of 3, and you add a little bit of rivalry spice to it in the case of Kentucky and Louisville and Kansas State. And you better, these games tomorrow night are going to be high level, where based on what New Mexico was able to respond tonight, it's going to be fantastic here tomorrow. And then KU, K-State in Bramlage Coliseum, Michael Beasley, Frank Mason going at it. Going to be 2 excellent games on Friday night.
FS2, the place to watch both of those games tomorrow night. Wichita State, New Mexico at 9 Eastern after Kansas State. What a turn of events in the TBT landscape tonight from Wichita. They didn't see Vance Jackson coming. 27 points to lead the Enchantment to one of the biggest upsets in TBT history. Much more action follows across the TBT landscape beginning tomorrow with a doubleheader on FS2. Until then, for my broadcast partner Nick Baugh and our outstanding crew, this is Chris Foster saying good night from Wichita.